If I had to start over in 2025 and I could only choose one business to own, it would be plumbing, because every single day homeowners are flushing money straight onto your schedule board. The question always is, should you start the business or should you buy the business this year? And in this video, I'll walk you through exactly what it takes: the startup costs, the profit margins, and of course the headaches. Plumbing is the foundation of every home, right? Every home doesn't have an HVAC system, but every home has a toilet. Every home usually has a water heater. And guess what? All of those create clogged drains that someone has to fix. And let me tell you something else. AI isn't coming for your 3-inch cast iron pipe buried under your foundation. It's not, and it can't fix it, and it won't be able to fix it for a very long time. Not only that, but this industry is massive. There's over 130 million homes in the US, and they're all aging out, as well as the plumbers. The average age of a plumber in America is like 50 years old. They're not getting replaced. That means every year more guys are retiring and fewer come in, which is a supply and demand issue, pushing prices up. So if you're willing to run the business side of this and you're willing to fight for the labor, there's room for you. There's a lot of room for you, and there's a lot of room for growth. And so there's two ways to get into this business, right? You can start from scratch or you can buy an existing business. I always recommend buying, hence the Jackquisitions name of this podcast, but we're going to start from scratch. So if you're starting from scratch, it's definitely harder than it looks. You want to be competitive day one. You don't want to be the plumber's crack that's hanging out, showing up in a beat up truck with beat up tools, looking terrible, working on the cheapest things possible because that's the only way you're getting business. So you're gonna have to spend a little money up front. It's gonna look like $20,000 to $50,000 for a good van. No dents, no dings, maybe you could put some stickering on the side, not even a full wrap. But you're at the $30,000 to $50,000 range. Not to mention, you're gonna need $5,000 to $10,000 in tools. I mean, $5,000 alone for a sewer camera. A Pro Press is another $3,000 if you want to be able to do fittings Pro Pressed, which is a lot of work we do. There's a myriad of tools that will add up extremely quickly, not to mention inventory. You're gonna have to have stuff on that truck to be able to fix things on site. And then you're looking at another $5,000 to $10,000 in licensing and uniforms and getting your name out there, filling out just the generalized items that you need to even put yourself into the internet space and into your business. Maybe that's a little bit of, potentially it's getting a small shop to haul junk to and trash to because your HOA won't allow you to run a business out of your house. And then lastly, you have like 20 to 30K in the first year of lead generation, right? You're going to make mistakes on ads and advertising. You're going to try this avenue and that avenue, and it's going to take a lot to get you up and running, to get your brand and name out there. So unless you're handy, right? You got to be handy first. You got to be able to actually do the work and know what you're doing, or you're going to be kicked out of the market really quickly. Then you have to go get your licenses, which usually take, I mean, plumbing license alone will probably take you 4 years of pre-existing work to get. And you have to be willing to run all those calls yourself. So you have to be a plumber. I only recommend this for people who are already plumbers, who are ready to make that transition. And you're still looking at $75,000 to $100,000 minimum in the first 6 months. So in contrast to that, you can go out and take that $100,000 and buy a plumbing business with 1 or 2 or 3 technicians. The phone rings day one. Maybe there's some repeat customers or some membership programs that are already coming with the business. There's a Google business profile. There's lots out there. And this is going to cost you with the SBA 7A loan. If you use that same $100,000 that you would have used to start up, you can use that same $100,000 to go buy $1 million business. And if something's worth $1 million, that's probably SDE somewhere around 3, 4, 500,000. And if you're running 20% margins, that's $2 to $3 million in top line revenue year one. So you're buying $2 million conservatively in top line revenue, generating 300,000. And now you're less focused on this initial building, getting your name out there, and you get to do operations day one. But more importantly, you skip all the hard parts and you're able to make money day one. But why plumbing, right? You could do HVAC, you could do, which I do, HVAC and plumbing. You could do electrical, you could do landscaping, you could do pest control. Why plumbing? And the answer is because plumbing is a steady crawl of high margin jobs every single day, right? Outside of the big freeze that we saw in Texas like 2 years ago, there's no shoulder season. There's no real booms or huge rushes. It's just steady, high margin work every single day. And that's awesome because it allows you to hone in on your labor costs and keep your margins high, which is why plumbing has some of the highest margins of any industry, any home service industry. And on top of that, plumbing is a great mix, right? So you have maintenance work, you have water heater flushes, you have all this kind of maintenance work. You have small ticket repair, think drips from a sink, garbage disposals, and then you have high tickets like old cast iron pipe that you have to rip out and redo. So it has this perfect mix of, hey, repair, maintenance, and high ticket that allows you to scale quickly. And lastly, it's quietly like the cash flow king. I call it the cash flow king because essentially it's year round, consistent, and it's all same day issues. There's very few people that call a plumber that don't have a same day issue. It's sewage backing up into their house. It's no hot water. And this urgency that it builds gives you pricing power. On top of that, you have those maintenance and service, which gives you that recurring revenue. So every house has a toilet, every house has a sewer, and you get this steady flow of work. But of course, that's the good side. The bad side, let's talk about the poop nobody tells you about. A lot of times you're dealing with poop. It's not glorious, it's not fun, it's not sexy, it's frankly very gross, but it's part of the industry and you're doing it because nobody else wants to. And you're gonna get callbacks, right? This is a labor-intensive industry. People mess up, you're gonna get callbacks. You're gonna have technicians that ghost you once you finally find them. You're gonna spend a ton of money on advertising that works and doesn't work and have to weave your way through there. And you're even gonna get crazy things like people who leave you 1-star reviews and they never even worked with you. They just didn't like the person that was on the phone who was nicely telling them that something's not possible. So whether you're buying or building, the key is just to make sure that you have those systems day one. You know how to dispatch, you're working on follow-up, you're working on phone training, you're working on pricing, or in the end, you're gonna bleed that cash flow that you had coming in. But the opportunity is huge, right? It's not a side hustle, it's a real business. And the guys who treat it that way can win really, really big. So what do you do with all this information now, right? If you're licensed already and you want to go solo, you've been a plumber for a few years, you maybe even have a van that you're ready to get set up. Go for it. Put your Google business profile up, get it fully filled out and start answering the phone like your life depends on it. But at the same time, understand that as you grow, you're going to be growing out of that position of being a good technician into needing to be a good business owner. If you're not licensed, but you still want to own this business, start looking for companies to acquire. There's biz buy sell, start talking with local vendors, maybe partner with a licensed plumber and grind through those first initial stages to learn everything about the industry and build that brand while you go. Build that brand, build those SOPs while you start moving in the right direction. Because the secret at the end of the day is that the person who owns the name, the person who owns the phone number, really obviously owns the business. You don't actually need to be a tech. Just need to control two things, is you need to have leads and you need to have labor to fulfill that. So you have recruiting and marketing. And if you can get really, really good at those two things and find an operator who can help run day-to-day ops, it's a huge success. Plumbing is easily one of the last great blue-collar gold mines. So if you're serious about buying or building a plumbing company, subscribe to this channel. I'll drop the real numbers, the real playbooks, the real unfiltered truth about what it takes to run a business in the trades. I'm Jack Carr. I own a blue-collar business and I help blue-collar business entrepreneurs scale, exit, or even buy their first business. And I will see you in the next video.